So welcome, hello. It's so nice to see you all here. Hi, my name is Jason Gorenstein, and this is our Hatha Yoga Level 1-2 class. Today is Friday, July the 3rd, 2020. Time is 12 p.m. And I hope that you're having a wonderful Friday as well. We have a really nice practice plan for us today. So as you feel ready, find your way onto your mats and let us begin our practice together. So without further ado, we're going to begin our practice. See that you'll find your way onto your mat. Allow your feet to be about hips width distance apart, and allow yourself to lie back down on your back. So as we start our practice today, our starting posture is just going to be a pose called constructive rest pose. The feet are going to be about hips width distance apart. The toes are going to be touching the mat. The knees are going to be moving in towards each other, and the breath is going to be long and slow. And as you breathe here, just begin to allow that breath to continue naturally in and out through the nostrils. Good. And then as you feel ready here, you'll take your hands, you're going to push your hands behind the head. We're going to do a little bit of core work to start out. So on the in-breath, lift the chest on up and draw the shoulders up off the floor. And on the next breath, draw the knees up and draw the knees into the chest. As you inhale, lift the chest up a little bit higher. And on the exhale, release the feet down and release the head down to the mat. So inhale, we lift up the chest here. And on an exhale, we lift up the legs. As you inhale, lift up the chest a little bit higher and round the belly on in. And as you exhale, release the head down to the mat and release the feet down to the mat as well. So inhale, lifts up the chest. Exhale, draws the knees into a bent position. Draw the chest into a little bit higher. And as you exhale, lower the feet down and lower the head down. Inhale, lifts up the chest here. Exhale, draws the knees into a bend. Lift up the chest a little bit higher. And release the legs on down. So 5 more times. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, knees to chest. And inhale, draw a little bit higher. And exhale, lower feet and head down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lowering down. So 3 more. Inhale up. And exhale, lifting the legs. And inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lowering on down. 2 more. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, floating up the knees. Inhale, lifting up a little bit higher. Exhale, lowering down. Last one. Inhale, lifting chest. Exhale, floating legs. Inhale, lifting a little bit higher. This time, hold here. So see if you can lift the chest, the heart, the sternum a little bit higher and flex across those feet. So keep lifting the chest here. Keep breathing as you do so. Now take your knees, hug your knees into the chest, and release that head all the way down onto that mat. So we're going to do just a little bit more core work. So take the hands behind the back of the head, extend your right leg on forward. Right leg is off the floor. Inhale, lift the chest on up as you breathe here. Now take both elbows over towards the left side of the body. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, draw the right knee into the chest. So the left leg extends forward. And both elbows drift over to the right side. Flex both feet here as you lift the shoulders up and come back into center again. Draw that left knee in. Extend the right leg forward. Draw the elbows over to the left side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right knee to the chest. Left leg extends forward. Elbows lift on up. Draw both elbows over to the right side. Come back to center. Left knee into the chest. So 3 more. Right leg extends. Both elbows come over to the left side. Back to center. And draw the right knee into the chest. Left leg extends. Both elbows over to the right side. Elbows back to center. Left knee into the chest. Right leg extends. Both elbows over to the left. Back to center again. And right knee to the chest. So 2 more. Left leg forward. Lift the elbows on up. Draw the elbows over. Inhale, back to center. And back to center. 1 more on each side. Extend the right leg forward. Both elbows come over to the left. Inhale, back to center. Draw that knee into the chest. Last one on the right side. So extend the left leg forward. Both elbows over to the right. Back to center again. and hug those knees into the chest. So that's a really nice way for us to start our practice today, just to get a little bit of core work. Rock the knees up and down, and eventually rolling on up. Take your legs, extend your legs back behind you, and find your way into your, releasing the head down into your child's pose. So in child's pose, extend those arms forward, release the head down, and breathe here. See if you can press down through the fingers, wrap the outer arms in, and breathe as you lengthen across the side ribs. Now press down through the thumb and the forefinger. Inhale, peel up the chest, heart, and sternum. Find your way into tabletop pose. And as you tuck the toes underneath, press your thighs on back, downward facing dog pose. So as we take downward facing dog pose here, see that the legs are drifting back to the back of the mat. See that the heels are drifting back to the back of the mat. It's okay to bend the knees slightly here. And then on the next breath, begin to walk the hands back towards the feet and find your way into a nice deep forward fold. Take the right hand, bring it into the left elbow crease. Take the left hand, bring it into the right elbow crease. Release the forehead down to the mat as you lengthen the sides of the ribs. Take your hands to the sides of the mat. Press down through the tops of the feet. Inhale, peel the chest up, and find your way to standing. Float the arms out to open and breathe here as we come into Tadasana. Okay, very nice, yogis. So let's begin. Inhale, float your arms up above your head. And on an exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold here. Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh, just let me know if you can hear me now. I have the volume all the way up on my computer, so hopefully you can hear me now. So as you feel ready, inhale, float those arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, floating up halfway here. Exhale, hinging and folding. Inhale, raising those arms up towards the ceiling, and exhale, bringing those hands to the sides. Good. Inhale, floating the arms up above your head. Exhale, hinging and folding here. Inhale, lengthening the body, the torso. Exhale, folding down again. Inhale, raising those arms up towards the ceiling, palms touch. Exhale, bringing the hands to the sides. Once again, inhale, floating those arms up. Exhale, hinging and folding. Inhale, lengthening halfway. So this time, take your hands to the mat and walk your feet back into downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose, press through the thumbs, press through the forefingers, wrap the outer arms in and up. Begin to shift the weight forward into the top of a push-up now. Release your knees down to the mat. Lower the chest all the way down. Walk the hands back. See that the hands hug against the sides of the ribs. Inhale, peel the chest on up. As you tuck the toes underneath you, press down through the hands and the feet. Downward facing dog pose. So once again here, pressing down the fingers, letting the outer thighs revolve in, and continuing to create as much length in the side ribs and the chest as you can. Once again, walking the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening halfway up. As you exhale, hinge at those hips, fold all the way down to the mat. Inhale, raise those arms up towards the ceiling, palms come together to touch, and on an exhalation, glide those hands back down to the sides of the body here. So inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthening through the side ribs. Take the hands down to the mat. Walk the feet back. Downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose. Shift forward into a push-up. Lower those knees all down to the mat. Lower your chest all the way down to the mat. Walk those hands back again. Push through the tops of the fingers. Inhale, peel the chest up for cobra pose. As you press down through the fingers and the feet, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog, release the head on down, and breathe here as you wrap your outer thighs in. Walk the feet forward to the hands, and inhale, lengthen halfway. As you exhale, hinge at those hips, and fold all the way down to the mat. Inhale, raise those arms up towards the ceiling, palms touch, and as you exhale, glide those hands back down to the sides. So once again, inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthening the chest, the heart, the sternum here. And as you exhale, take those hands back down to the mat, walk the feet back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog, shift forward into a plank again, lower the knees down to the mat, lower the chest all the way down once again here. Now, take your hands, bring your thumbs behind your back and interlace your thumbs to one another. Begin to pull the fingers back behind the knees as you peel the chest on up. Raise the right foot up, raise the left foot up. Now turn the pinky toes down to the floor as you lift the big toes up. On an exhalation, release the hands down to the mat and press your way up and back to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose again, spreading across the fingers, wrapping your outer armpits in. Continue to press those thigh bones back. Continue to press those heels all the way back to the back of the mat. One more time, walking those feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lifting the chest halfway up. And as you exhale, hinge at those hips, forward fold all the way. Press down through the feet. Inhale, float the arms up and above your head. And as you exhale, glide the arms back to the sides into Tadasana pose. Okay. Tadasana pose, take the hands to the hips. Bend into that left knee. Spin the left heel in so that the left heel is planted against the right shin. Take your hands to the center chest here. Inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Now, as you lift up through those side ribs to the fingers, maybe begin to float that left foot up to the right thigh or even to the right shin. Both options are okay. And then as you exhale, hands come back down through the center chest, release that foot on down. One more time on the other side. Right knee moves to a bent position, spin the right heel in. Take the hands to the center chest, be here for a moment. And if you'd like, inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe begin to glide your right foot up to the left shin. Maybe begin to glide your right foot up all the way to the left thigh. Breathe here as you wrap your outer thighs in and lengthen through the chest. On an exhalation, bring your hands back into center and release that right foot down. Inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Inhale, lengthening across the chest. Take the hands down to the mat, walk the feet back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog, shifting forward into plank, lowering the knees down to the mat, bending the elbows halfway. This time, if you'd like, pressing the palms up, Urdhva Mukha Shavasana, upward facing dog. As you exhale, press on back into downward facing dog pose. So be here for a moment. Turn the fingers out so that the thumbs are facing opposite sides of the mat. Allow the fingers to spread wide apart. Allow the inner forearms to lift on up. Wrap the outer triceps in as you firm the belly in. Now take your right foot, step your right foot in between your hands. And as you step your right foot between your hands, spin the left heel down. See that that left heel presses down to the earth. See that that right hip hugs in. And as you inhale, float your arms out to the sides into Warrior Two pose. Straighten across that right leg. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend deeply into that right knee and take the arms back to parallel. Now, glide your right hand forward. Bring your right forearm to your right thigh crease and windmill your left arm up and over your head into extended side angle pose. So as you press through the left ball of the foot, the left pinky toe side of the foot, revolve the left side of the chest up towards the ceiling. Feel both shoulders moving down the mat as you lift up through the chest. Inhale, float that left arm up, raise the left arm up, Warrior Two. Straightening through that right leg, and one more time, bending deeply into that right knee. Spin the right palm up towards the ceiling. Float the right palm up as you press the left thigh down. Windmill your hands down to the mat, step on back into downward facing dog pose. So again, in downward facing dog pose, we can stay here for a moment, Spread across the fingers, firm your outer upper arms in. Keep pressing back the thigh bones. Inhale, shifting forward into plank. Lower those knees down to the mat, lower the chest all the way down. Inhale, peel up chest, heart, and sternum. Maybe press up for upward facing dog. As you exhale, float those thighs on back to downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, turn your heels over the right side of the mat and then come high up onto the fingertips of your right hand. So you're pressing through the left palm, you're wrapping your left outer arm in, and you're breathing here as you draw both inner thighs back towards the inner groins. Now take your legs, bring them back to parallel, release the right heel down. And then this time bring your hands over towards the left side as you come up onto your left fingertips. So we come into these side twist, not kind of twisting, but these side postures so that we can engage the hips. Keep wrapping your left outer arm in, keep breathing into the sides of the waist. Come back to center with those feet, release the left heel down. Now looking in between the hands, step the left foot forward in between the hands. Spin the right heel down, and as you feel ready, inhale, windmill back up into warrior two. So I just switch sides of the mat. So as you feel ready here, inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling as you straighten your left leg. And on an exhale, bend deeply into that left knee and take your arms out to the sides. Hinge at that left hip, place your left forearm on the left thigh. Inhale, float the right arm up and glide your right arm up and out over your head. Press down through the right pinky toe side of the foot. Draw the right thigh back and allow the right side of the chest to turn up towards the ceiling here. Inhale, float that right arm up. Let the right arm lift us back into warrior two. Straighten across that left leg. And as you bend into that left knee, reverse the warrior. So lift that left arm up and place the right hand on the right thigh. Take the hands back down to the mat. Step the left leg back and find your way back into downward facing dog. Nice, so be here for a breath, downward facing dog pose. And then shift into a plank, top of a push-up here. Good. Lower your knees all the way down to the mat once again. Take your left foot, press your left ball of the foot down, and lengthen your left leg back. This time, hug the belly in, spin the left hip down, and draw the center chest towards the crown of the head. Inhale, float that left foot up as you draw in from the inner thigh. And as you exhale, press down through the left palm and float the right arm in front of you. So the right outer arm spins in, and the right arm lifts up towards the ceiling. The belly draws in towards the navel spine, and then you press down through your left palm. So breathing here for a moment. Exhale, releasing the right palm down. Lowering that left knee down to the mat and floating that right foot on back. Right foot presses down. Right heel lengthens back. Inhale as you press down through both palms, float that right leg up. As you float the right leg up, press down through your right palm. Inhale, lifting the left arm up and spinning the left palm towards the ceiling as you float up through the belly towards the crown of the head. On an exhalation, release that left palm. Release the right knee back down. Tucking the toes underneath, pressing back up, downward facing dog pose. Beautiful here. So walk the feet a little bit wider apart and see that those hips continue to press back. And as you inhale, float the right leg up, back and behind you now. So wrap your outer triceps in, firm the outer left hip in, and hug the right knee into the chest as you shift forward into a three-legged plank. Step the right foot in between the hands, release the left knee down to the mat, untuck the left toes, and as you inhale, float both arms up towards the ceiling. This is called Anjaliasana pose, Ardha Anjaliasana. As you bend deeply into that right knee, bend your right elbow and grab hold of your left forearm. Take your left forearm over the right side of the room as you begin to glide across the left side of the chest. Inhale back to center once again. Exhale, tilting over. Inhale back to center again. Exhale, bringing left arm over the right. One more time back to center. This time spread across the fingers. And as you exhale, float the hands down to the mat and step your right leg on back. So downward facing dog pose once again and breathing here. So spread across the feet, spread across the hands, Allow those thigh bones to press back to the back of the mat. Inhale, float that left leg up, back, and behind you. So as you float that left leg up, draw the right outer hip in. Press down through both thumb and forefinger to wrap your outer triceps in. And as you draw the left knee into the chest, round for a three-legged dog pose. Step the left foot in between the hands, release the right knee down, and inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling for Ardha Anjaliasana's pose. Press down through the left foot, press down through the right calf. Be here for a second. Good. And as you exhale, begin to release the hands on and back down. Press through the right ball of the foot, step through the left ball of the foot as well. Step on back and find your way back into your downward facing dog pose. Okay, so downward facing dog pose one more time. Let's walk the hands back towards the feet. So lean the weight on forward so the backs of the legs begin to grow longer here. And as you keep letting the weight shift forward, take your hands behind the back, interlace your fingers, and draw your arms up towards the ceiling for Paschimbo Badangolyasana. So this is reverse Badangolyasana pose. Raise up through the fingers, wrap your outer armpits in, breathe here as you take the sternum all the way to the crown of the head. Now lean on back into those knees. Bend those knees here as you plant the hands to the pelvis. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, and we're in our chair pose. Straighten across those legs, take the arms back out to the sides, and take a moment here as we begin to root ourselves into Tadasana's pose. Hands come onto your hips, bend into your knees once again. Take your left foot and step it all the way over your right leg. Take your hands, glide your left arm under your right. Hug your shoulders here as you begin to forward fold. So keep squeezing in your navel here, keep lifting up through your chest. So your eyes are facing forward as you keep dropping your hips on down. Breathe here. You may be able to even sink down. Maybe even the left foot floats on up. And continue to lift the chest and heart as we take this variation eagle pose. Now plant that left foot down. Inhale, float the arms out to the sides. Exhale, release that left foot down and come back to Tadasana pose. So be in Tadasana for a moment. Spread across the fingers, root through the feet. Take the hands to the hips, bend through both knees, right foot over left knee. So as you bring your legs across, take your right hand under this time, hug hold of your shoulders, spread across the back body, and then release the elbows on down. So once we release those elbows on down, we need to take our attention towards our hips. Drive your outer thighs back and lift the center chest up towards the crown of the head. So allow yourself to lengthen here and breathe. Maybe even the right toes float off the floor. Release that right foot down. Inhale, lift up the chest and release the arms on down. Inhale, float the arms on up. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Inhale, lengthen here. Take the hands back to the mat, walk the feet back as you move into downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose here, wrap the outer triceps in, and then from here, begin to lengthen forward into a plank pose once again. Lower the knees down to the mat, glide the left foot on back, spin the left heel down, take the left arm up, and raise the left arm up towards the ceiling. Okay, so this is a pose that I've been introducing into one of my classes. You're going to take the left hand behind the head. You're going to keep the right knee planted on the floor. You may even want to turn the right foot slightly so the right foot is in line with the right knee. This is just for stability purposes. And then from here, you'll take the left knee, you'll glide the left knee into the chest, you'll tap the left knee to the left thigh, and then you'll extend the left elbow back up towards the ceiling. So we do this for 5 times. Draw that knee to elbow and lengthen that arm on up. Draw that knee to left elbow and inhale, lengthen arm up. So 3 more. Knee comes to elbow, inhale, lengthen on up. Knee comes to elbow, inhale, lengthen on up. 1 more. Knee comes to elbow here and hold, and breathe here for another moment. Then extend that left leg, extend that left arm, and release both hand and foot and knee down to the mat. So press on back into downward facing dog. Once again, downward facing dog is always like a balancing pose of the body. Take the feet a little bit wider apart, release the head on down, lift the inner forearms up and breathe here. So we're going to lower those knees down to the mat once again. You're going to plant your hands on down, lengthen across your right foot, and spin your right heel down to the mat. Take your left foot, bring it in line with your left knee, right hand comes to the back of the head, and breathe here as you come into the side extension pose. Now you can stay here if you want, or if you want to move into the further posture. Right knee drives to right elbow, and then right leg extends on back. Right knee drives to right elbow, and right leg extends on back. 3 more. Right knee to right elbow, inhale, leg extends back. Right knee to right elbow, inhale, leg extends back. Last one. Right knee to right elbow, hold here, and breathe as you compress in the belly, and then extend that right leg back. Right arm over the head, and release both hand and knee down. Good, so once again here, lift those knees, thighs up, downward facing dog pose. So in downward facing dog pose this time, you're going to step the right foot in between the hands. Plant the left ball of the foot down, take the arms back behind you as you lengthen across the chest. So you're almost like jetting out of your hands as we did earlier in our locust pose. Inhale, float the chest on up, raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Okay, so as you feel ready here, bend the left knee and release the left knee to the floor. Bend both elbows here, draw the elbows down in line with the shoulders. Now spin the chest over towards the right leg and extend your arms in opposite directions. Take your right hand, place it on your left thigh, and lift your left arm up. This is called reverse Anjaliasana pose. Now glide your hands forward again. Release your hands back to the floor. Step your right foot back and shift forward into plank pose. Lower the knees on down. Lower the chest on down. Inhale, float up the chest, heart, and sternum, and exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog pose. Very nice. So from downward facing dog pose, be here for a moment, spreading across the fingers. One more time, you're going to shift the toes over, this time to the left side first. Come up onto the fingertips of your right palm this time, and breathe as you lengthen the chest. And if you'd like here, float the right arm up towards the ceiling into a variation Vashisthasana pose. Now take that right arm, weave it on through your left shoulder, and inhale, lengthen that right arm back up. 2 more times. Right hand comes underneath your left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen that arm back up. 1 more time. Left arm underneath your left armpit. Inhale, back on up. And then as you exhale, plant your right palm down and come back into downward facing dog pose. So downward facing dog pose, we're here for another moment. And exhale, shifting both heels over the right. Left hand, this time, come up onto those left fingertips and release on here. So you can stay here the entire time, or if you want, you could come into side Vashisthasana. And as you exhale, left arm comes under the right armpit, and then draw that left arm back for 2 more. Left arm under left armpit. Inhale, draw him back, under right armpit. Left arm under the right armpit. Inhale, draw him back. And as you exhale, lower that right palm down, and downward facing dog pose. Step this time the left foot in between the hands. Press the right ball of the foot down. Inhale, float the arms alongside of you as you come into Shalambhasana variation pose. That's the pose I was thinking of. As you feel ready, lift the chest on up. Float the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bend deeply into that right knee and bend the elbows out to the sides of the shoulders. Spin the chest all the way over so your chest begins to face your left knee. Take your left arm back, take your right arm forward, and then release back into this reverse warrior pose. Now take your hands back down to the mat. Step your left leg on back. Shift forward into plank. Lower those knees down. Lower the chest all the way down onto the mat. So as you feel ready here, take your hands and interlace your fingers behind your back. Pull the fingers back to the back of the room as you peel the chest on up. Look down towards the floor. Press down through the left foot. Inhale, float the right leg up. Press the right foot slightly down and inhale, float the left leg on up. See that the big toes touch, allow the pinky toes to face the floor, and spread across the buttocks as you lengthen across the chest. This is called Shalabhasana. As you exhale, lower that head down, take the hands down to the mat. Inhale, peeling the chest on up, and exhale once again back into downward facing dog pose. So from downward facing dog pose here, let's lower those knees down to the mat. Let's bring our feet together and find our way back into child's pose. You can take your hands, you can bring your hands along the sides of the body and release that head on down. And breathe here as you release through the crown there. And I'm going to have you actually take a really interesting pose. So you're going to lift on up here. You're going to walk your knees towards one another. You're going to interlace the fingers behind the back and peel the chest on up. As you exhale, you're going to hug in the belly. You're going to look down towards your knees. You're going to release the top of your head down as you lift your fingers up towards the ceiling. So there's not a tremendous amount of weight on the top of the head because you're lifting your fingers up so much that you're not putting pressure in the neck. It's kind of what we're doing here. It's called rabbit's pose. As you feel ready, inhale, lifting back up. Interlace the fingers in front of you. Lift the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, glide the hands down to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest on up. Press down through the toes. Lift up through the thighs. Downward facing dog once again. So as you come into downward facing dog, you're going to step the right foot in between your hands. You're going to spin the left heel down. Take the hands and plant the hands on the hips as you straighten across the right leg. Now, see that the right foot and the left foot are about 3 feet apart, 3 to 4 feet apart. The left heel walks to the left, the right heel walks to the right. So your heels are aligned with your hips. Now take your hands to your hips. Bring your hands behind your back. You can either bring your hands into reverse prayer pose, knuckles touch, or grab hold of your opposite forearms. As you press to the left heel, drive the left hip forward. Press to the right ball of the foot, drive the right hip back. And begin to lengthen the chest forward to the front of the mat as you drive your right outer hip towards your left heel. Breathe here as you lengthen across the chest and allow yourself to lengthen across that right leg. Now as you inhale here, lift up through the chest, heart, and sternum. Take the hands back to the hips. Bend deeply into that right knee. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, glide the hands down to the mat. You're going to spin onto the ball of your left foot. Keep a bend in that right knee. Hop the left foot forward and come into, this is called a standing split pose. So it's okay, you can keep a bend in that right knee and you can drive that left hip on, or that right hip rather, on back. Bend both elbows here and just release the head all the way down to the mat. So as you release that head down, this is a great opportunity to stretch out the entire back of the right leg. And then as you exhale here, you're going to bring your left foot, all the way back once again. Walk the hands back, Now this is Parsvottanasana pose again. The only difference here is it's a longer variation of the pose. Your fingers are touching the ground, your right hip drawing back, your left hip is driving forward. Hands come to the hips once again. Inhale, peel up the chest. Bend into the right knee, short version of Warrior One. Lift the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step your right leg on back. And once again, find your way back into your downward facing dog pose. Shift forward into plank. Lower those knees down. Lower down all the way to the chest. Inhale, peel up the shoulders and heart. And then float the fingers back behind you. Take the toes. Allow the toes to lift as well as you lift across the chest. Broaden across those collarbones. Inhale, firm in the belly. And lift through the backs of the legs. Take the hands to the sides of the chest. Press down through the fingers to lift the heart. As you exhale, float those thighs back and find your way back into downward facing dog pose. So again, downward facing dog pose here. Wrap the outer thighs in. Wrap the outer thighs in, wrap the outer arms in, and breathe here as you lengthen across the chest. Okay, so downward facing dog pose. Release the knees on down to the mat. take the left foot rather, lift the left thigh back, and then lift the left foot up towards the ceiling. Now as you lift the left foot up towards the ceiling, look forward here once again. Press down through the left palm, take the right hand back and extend the right hand back behind you. Maybe bend that left knee and grab hold of your right shin now and kick that left leg on up. So this is a variation pose once again. And as you exhale, lower that right hand down and release the left knee on down. Inhale, extending that left leg behind you, bending that left knee to the ceiling. Left foot floats all the way up. And then as you exhale, take the left hand this time and hold back to grab hold of your right shin. Kick that right shin back, lift up through the top of the chest. Inhale here as you lengthen across the side body and let your heart do the rest. Release the left hand down, release the right knee down, and once again, find your way back into downward facing dog pose. So that's a nice little variation of back bend sequence right there. And from downward facing dog pose, step the left foot about 3/4 of the way to the front of the mat, spin the right heel down, take the hands to the hips, and lift up through the top of the chest. We're going to move into this variation once again. So you can place your hands in prayer, you can place your knuckles together, or you can place your fingers interlaced to the back of the spine. Whatever variation you take, press the right pinky toe side of the foot down, drive the right hip forward, press the left heel back, and then as you feel ready, lengthening across the chest as we move into our Parsvottanasana pose. So this is our first variation of Parsvottanasana pose. Parsvottanasana pose, inhale, lift up your chest once again. Hands come to the hips, bend into that left knee, lift the arms up towards the ceiling. Release the hands down to the mat. Step the right foot forward. Inhale, float your right leg up as you release the head on down. So breathe here as you keep lifting up through the right inner leg and release that left hip back and down. Good. And then from here, you're going to walk those hands back. You're going to place the right foot down again. The hands are now along the sides of that left leg and you release the head on down. This is Parsvottanasana pose once again. Hands come to the hips here. Bend into that left knee. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, release down towards the mat. Step your left leg back. Shift forward into plank pose. Lower the knees down, lower the chest down, and come back onto your belly once again. Now we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So interlace your fingers in front of you. Wrap your fingers once again. Press down through the wrist, forearm, and elbow, and lift up through the top of the chest. See that the shoulders draw down the spine and lift up through the center heart. As you feel ready, lift up through the left leg and look forward to the front of your mat. So you're not looking back to the left leg, you're just looking forward as you lift through the inner thigh. Exhale, lower that left foot on down. Press through the forearm, wrist, and fingers. Inhale, float that right leg along. Right outer thigh revolves in, lifting up through the chest and the heart. As you exhale, lower that foot on down and breathe here for another moment. Okay, so this is a pose. Sometimes we do, and we'll see how this goes. You're going to turn your right forearm in towards your left elbow. Then you're going to place your right hand down on the mat. You're going to bend that left knee heavily, and if you can, grab hold of the left foot. You're going to take the left heel, turn it down to the mat, and lift your left elbow up towards the ceiling. And as you feel ready, turn your chest forward all the way to the front as you lift up through the center chest. So the belly's hugging in, the buttocks is lengthening back, and you're breathing here as you draw that knee, as you draw that heel down towards the buttocks. Now release that foot on back and come back into your Sphinx pose. So once again here, right knee bends. And you're going to take your right hand and place it back behind you. You're going to grab hold of the top of the right foot this time and turn that foot on down. Lift up through the right elbow, spin the chest forward and up. And as you press down through the left toes, kick back and lift up through the center chest. So really nice stretch here. Sometimes we do this stretch. I love this stretch. And then as you exhale, you're going to release that leg back on behind you. Interlace the fingers once again. Tuck the toes underneath you. Lift up first by the pelvis, then the thighs, and then lift up through the knees. Walk the feet forward, and lift the buttocks into the air. And as you feel ready, keep drawing the chest all the way down to the thighs. So the chest draws down to the thighs. The outer arms wrap in. And you breathe here as you lengthen back through those heels and release the head on down again. Good. So walk the feet on back and see that the pelvis is parallel with the mat. And lower the pelvis all the way down as you lift up one more time in the Sphinx pose. Okay. So the last part of this sequence is going to be a pose called Dhanurasana. And I'm sure you've taken Dhanurasana before. We just kind of prepped Dhanurasana in a way with the pose that we just took. So both knees come to a bent position and the heels are facing into the air. And then you take your left hand, you bring hold of your outer left shin this time. And you glide on over to the left side of the body and you grab hold of your right shin this time and come back to center. So see that the knees are parallel, feel that the heels are right under the buttocks, and as you begin to kick back the shins, the thighs, and then lifting the chest. So breathe here. This is called Dhanurasana pose, as you lift up through the heart. As you exhale, lower on down and release those legs all the way down to the ground. So we take Dhanurasana pose twice, and the reason for that is because each time we're helping to build up, we're helping to open up the chest, the heart, the sternum a little bit more. So bend the knees once again, grab hold of the outer feet, take the knees back to center, flex the feet, and begin to lift the chest on here. So see that the calves move into the shins, see that the thighs move into the hamstrings, lift up chest, heart, sternum, as you draw the shoulder blades in. On an exhale, releasing on down, and releasing those legs all the way down to the mat. So press down through the hands, lift up through the chest, come back up, and as you exhale, take those feet in front of you and find your way back onto your back. So actually here, no, before we come onto our back, what I want to do is I want to extend the legs forward in front of us. And then what I'd like you to do is take the right knee to a bend, take the right foot, cross it over the left thigh, and walk the right foot over towards the left buttocks. So see that the right knee is now on top of the left thigh. Inhale, float your arms up towards the ceiling, lift up to the top of your chest, and as you exhale, hinge on forward and grab hold of your left foot. So this is what we call, it's a Gomukhasana stretch. Gomukhasana is cow face. It's a Gomukhasana stretch where we begin to stretch out the outer hip flexors and the side ribs as well. So breathe in here as you hold on to that foot, and you can close the eyes here. This is supposed to be a deeper stretch as you close the eyes, maybe even releasing your head down, your forehead down towards that right bent knee. And just breathing here into the back of that left leg, allowing for your side ribs to lengthen, allowing for the chest to be long and slow. So eventually, inhale, lifting up through the chest, uncrossing that right leg. Extend the right leg forward in front of you and bend your left knee. Take your left foot, cross it over your right thigh, and begin to bring your left foot behind you. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, glide forward once again. Lifting through the chest, heart, and sternum, bending the elbows slightly, releasing the forehead all the way down to the mat as you breathe here once again. Beautiful. So be here for one more moment. Maybe walk the fingers a little further down. Maybe even release the forehead all the way down to that left bent knee. And then inhale, lifting on up. You're going to uncross the legs once again. You're going to scoot the pelvis forward. Come onto your back and hug the knees back into the chest. Once again here, I kind of like to do a little bit of abdominal work. We don't have to do much. But you're going to take the hands behind the back of the head and you're going to lift both elbows towards the ceiling. You're going to take your knees and draw the knees into the chest, and as you exhale, let the feet tap the ground. Inhale, draw the knees towards the chest. Exhale, tap the feet to the ground. Inhale, knees come to chest. Exhale, feet tap the ground. Inhale, knees touch chest. Exhale, knees tap the ground. Inhale, knees tap one more time. Exhale, knees tap ground. All right, so this time you're going to draw both your hands over towards your left leg. So bring both your hands over to the left. You can keep both your knees bent here. And then draw both hands back to center and both hands over the right. Now if you want a little bit more, just lift those legs and draw both hands over to the left once again. And come back to center once again and draw both hands over the right. And if you want a little bit more, extend those legs forward and draw both hands over the left. Hug the belly in, come back to center, and draw both hands over the right. Bend those knees into the chest. Hug those knees on in. Take your arms out to the sides and simple twist over the right side. So bring both knees over the right. Take your right hand over the left thigh. Release the head over. Turn the head over the left and release and allow your shoulder to relax. So as we start to begin to unwind our sequencing together, this is where you can kind of relax the body, you can relax the shoulders, you can relax the chest. And then both knees come back to center, both knees come over to the other side. So breathe here as you move into a simple twist on the opposite side again. And breathe here, you turn the chest over towards the right shoulder this time. Good, come back to center one more time here. Hug your knees into your chest. And then as you feel ready, find your way into happy baby pose. Grab hold of your big toe mounds of the feet, lift the heels up towards the ceiling. Press through the heels, draw the knees down, and breathe here once again. So you're going to come into half happy baby pose. Extend your left leg forward. This is a little bit of an abdominal. You're going to lift your chest on up. You're only holding onto your right knee this time as you lift up. The left foot is floating off the mat. Then you'll draw the left knee in. You'll grab hold of the left big toe. You'll extend the right leg forward, and we'll do the same here. So right foot's floating off the ground. Right outer arm is lifting up, and you're breathing here as you're holding your left knee in towards the side of the chest. Draw the right knee in again. Take the right leg out to the side. Float both legs out. Upavishta Konasana legs as you draw the tailbone down towards the mat. Now take your knees into center one more time, and you're going to spin your right leg under the left. Grab hold of the sides of your feet here and release your knees towards the ceiling. This is actually Gomukhasana legs, but we're lying on our back. So this is our Gomukhasana leg pose as you release down your head and your chest. Breathe here into your knees. Breathe into your feet. And release all the way down. Now take your legs back to center, uncross your legs and recross them the other way. And grab hold of your outer shins once again and flex across your feet. As you flex across those feet, you're going to continue to feel the thighs drawing away from you. Hug the outer belly and lift the chest and be here for another moment. Alright, so one more time, come back onto your knees and then scoot your knees right and left. Alright, and then as you feel ready, you're going to roll your way up. So roll your way up now, and then you're going to extend your legs forward in front of you. Lift the arms up towards the ceiling, release the hands down to the mat, and release here into Paschimottanasana pose, the west facing the east pose. So I'm kind of giving you a little bit more of a relaxation towards the end with Paschimo, and then release the head on down. Release the head down towards the shoulders. Good, and last but not least, take your butt, scoot it on forward. Bring your feet wide apart. Bring your knees wide apart. Take your blocks, place them under your legs, and bring your feet together as you release and open through your heart. So let your arms extend to your sides and allow your pelvis to open as you release the palms down and away from you, and just breathe here again. So this is called Supta Baddha Konasana. And then what I'd like you to do, bring your feet together. Even though I want to move into Shavasana, take a block for a moment, place it under your tailbone, and just bring your knees together. So this is called constructive rest, but we're on a block, so it's a little bit different. It's like constructive rest and bridge pose together. So just breathing here for another few moments. And then if you'd like, you can extend your right leg forward and your left leg forward. So this is a variation of bridge pose, where our feet are extended forward and we're lengthening through the top of the body. And last but not least, as you bend these knees, lift the pelvis on up and release the legs all the way forward. So now we got our nice little forward bend and our backward bend, and we're in Shavasana. We're only here for a couple of minutes, so allow yourself to rest. Draw your shoulders underneath the center chest and breathe here as you spread and allow yourself to lengthen your breath. Breathing here. Breathing out. Point your toes forward, float your arms up and over your head, bring your knees to a bent position, and roll your body over to your side. Allow your head to be supported by your arms and be on your side for a moment. And then as you feel ready, press your way up and come back into a seated pose. So as we come into a seated pose, one more time, we cross our legs here. And then we bring our hands to the center chest and we release our head. Lifting the head, taking the palms to the sides and opening up your eyes. So welcome back, my friends, and I hope you have a wonderful day. So namaste, yogis. Thank you so much. Wendy, thank you so much for joining. Really a pleasure to be able to share in this class, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon as well. Thank you guys so much. Once again, my name is Jason Gorenstein. We do these live streaming classes every day of the week, lots of live streaming yoga, and really accessible classes for everyone. So if you guys enjoyed the class, please consider giving a thumbs up. Oh, thank you so much, Wendy. And yes, hope to see you soon. I'll be doing Urban Zen live streaming. But thank you so much for joining, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. So for anybody else who's joining us, be well, be happy, my friends, and have a wonderful rest of your day. As I usually share, guys, namaste. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Wendy. See you guys soon. Bye, guys.